Good evening, friends. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, hola. We are back again, bringing to you the Global Society of Human Capital live wire. And today we have got a very interesting panel of speakers, but this is focused mainly for United Arab Emirates. We bring to you the Dubai Core Group, the Dubai chapter of Global Society of Human Capital Management. And we have today with you the core group members of Dubai who's going to talk about what they have been doing before, what's their plan now, and how they are planning to create their next roadmap for next 2 quarters. All the core group members will be sharing with you the ideas, thoughts, and if you are in Dubai or if you're all around, or if you are frequenting Dubai or United States of, United Arab Emirates, you are most welcome to share your thoughts, views, and you can put your question and answers, and we will try to share and we'll provide the answers through this core group members. And today we have with us Mr. Hassan Amin. Hassan Amin is our chapter chairperson. He is one of the well spoken, and he is well connected, and you must have seen him quite frequently. And Hassan Amin heads the Dubai chapter of Global Society of Human Capital Management, and he's going to take us through what Dubai chapter of Global Society of Human Capital Management is doing. Just a brief overview of what is happening in Global Society of Human Capital Management all across the world. We started around in 2002, as you know, this group, and this started as a Middle East Society for Human Resource Management, a platform for HR professionals managed by HR professionals. The organization grew, and we came to Dubai, and from here we expanded to Middle East, Africa region, now to Europe and Asia and all. And we have got chapters all across these countries. And if the countries are larger and bigger, we have got 2 or 3 chapters. Like in UAE, we have got 2 chapters, Dubai and Abu Dhabi chapter. We've got a lot of major initiatives going around through this platform. We've got annual awards. We recognize the HR professionals. We have got Al-Tawji program, the HR mentoring program. We got Tawasul, e-magazine. We do conferences, HR Majlis, seminars. We bring to you the latest happening all across the world about HR, human capital management, and whatnot, the latest research. And we also bring to you some eminent speakers so that we can understand, we can have the best of the HR best practices, which is available globally. This is a wonderful platform, and you will see us, the Global Society of Human Capital Management Award, being launched very, very soon, where Mandar and Hassan Amin will going to touch upon now. Now, welcome Hassan Amin, the chapter chairperson of Dubai, and he will take us and tell us about what is going on in Dubai chapter. Hassan.
Hello, everyone, and I welcome everyone to join this session on Global Society of Human Capital Management. What I wanted to say is this global society was earlier formed in 2008, and it was called Meshram. If you remember, it was called Meshram, MESHRM. And now we have, I think, from the past couple of years, we have worked through this, and we have changed the name to Global Society of Human Capital Management, which is having total of 35 chapters at the moment around the globe. And UAE, as Sandeep said, UAE has 2 chapters, one in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We were, I think, live last week with Abu Dhabi chapter. It was well received. We got many people, good feedback from them. And the Abu Dhabi chapter was formed in 2010. Total members around the globe, we have 50,000 members around the globe. And the activities which are involved in this is mentoring, coaching. So mentoring is a Al-Tawjih program. We have formed many HR majlises coming up in the previous time and coming up as well. We have annual corporate awards, annual individual awards, and annual conferences where we have awarded people about their efforts being an HR person and an HR practitioner. New services which are coming up is Al-Tawasul, the HCM Express, HR newsletter, which will be launched shortly. Annual awards for 2020 will be launched by the end of this month. 2021 mentoring to be launched by October 2020, and virtual job fair to be launched by next year, 2021. We are also doing, as part of national development in the country, we are also doing something on national development through free training for nationals. So this is, in short, I will say, a brief on Global Society of Human Capital Management. And if you know that we have HR, our core group members as a panelist joined this here live. So let me quickly introduce to you our panel members. I will start with Julie. So Julie Christie has been leading HR teams for the last 13 years, both in the UAE and Canada, within technology and media industries. Her expertise is in strategic change management, focused on transformation change pertaining to large system implementation, employee engagement, restructures, leadership development, performance management, rewards, recognition, learning and development. Julie's passion of aligning people to strategic intent to realize business benefits is most significant to her mission, and she has been able to influence sustainable behavioral changes. So please welcome Julie. Thank you very much. Next is, may I introduce you Mandar. Mandar is a business excellent leader and coach, and he helps organization and business excellence and continual improvement journey. He has 30 years of experience and has been in the UAE for more than half decades. And you can see from him, from his face only, how he has been here with us. Mandar is EFQM, that is quality management, and CAS certified, and has been on judging committee and jury panel of many awards, including Global Society, and also involved in assessment of excellence awards. He is also executive committee member of continual improvement subgroup of Dubai Quality Group and member of board of advisors of International Association of Innovation Professionals. So welcome Mandar to this. I have 3 more members, and let me just quickly introduce you again. Yes, Rajeshri, I'm not getting yours, so I'll skip this and hold on. We have Nathan. Okay, Nathan Bansal is CPTD, that is Certified Professional in Talent Development from Association of Talent Development. He has 19 years of experience in HR and L&D. He's ex-IB MER and now responsible for learning and development of all Emirates NBD international locations. Please welcome Nathan Bansal. Rajeshri, just ping me. I'm not getting yours. So who else? Who else I'm missing? I have introduced Julie. I have introduced Mandar. I introduced Nathan. And Rajeshri. Rajeshri, where's yours? Okay. I think Rajeshri, can you introduce yourself in this?
Sure. So
yeah.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, Hassan, and I thank each and every panelist who has joined us today for Dubai chapter opening and first chapter to begin with. Thank you, Sandeep, for organizing this fantastic forum for all the HR professionals and experts, industry experts who are soon going to be, joining us in expanding all our objectives with this forum. So just to give you a quick introduction, I work as the HR director at a multinational firm called as Digiphoto Entertainment Imaging, based out in Dubai. I have completed and been awarded my chartered fellowship with CIPD. And yes, I talk numbers. I like to speak about EBITDA, bottom line, people cost, ROI, and I design critically important people strategies for good around a decade now, coming from DXP Entertainments, Dubai Parks and Resorts, the Mall Jumeirah, etc. These are few of my gigs, and I'm looking forward for a healthy and very collaborative approach towards human resources fraternity and organization development. So that's me.
Well done, Rajeshri.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Please welcome Rajeshri on board. I will now introduce what we are going to present upon is our topics. I think there are 5 topics. First one is we have done already the introduction, and we'll be talking about unleashing your edge and reinvent. And the third one is disruptive innovation and big data in HR. Fourth one, we'll be talking about managing through fatigue. How do you manage through fatigue? And the last one is stepping forward. So what are the opportunities, how to step forward?
So now unleashing your edge and reinvent. Rajeshri, who's going to take on this one?
I'll be happy to lead and discuss on this topic.
Yeah, go ahead, Rajeshri. Enlighten us.
Sure. Looking forward. All right. First of all, thank you, viewers, for joining us this late, and welcome you all from all the parts of the globe that you've decided to be online, on air with us on LinkedIn. And to begin with the topic of unleash your edge and reinvent, it clearly comes from a very famous quote by Morgan Freeman, who said that if you're not living on the edge, then you are not proceeding ahead anywhere in life. And you're taking up a little too much of space, in anything and everything that you all do in your professional or your personal lives. So unleashing your edge is something very critical for all the business owners and CPOs, which is this Chief People Officers, CHROs, human capital management leaders across the globe, across industries, across small or bigger firms and organizations. And why I say so and why are we here to discuss about this topic is to enlighten the importance of where we are today with the current situation that globally has impacted each and everyone in some form or the other. And we need to understand what and how are we prepared for the future. So according to reports by Society of Human Resource Management and global advisory firm, which is Willstar Whitson, just about 35% of senior business leaders believe that chief people officers are really today prepared to tackle with the challenges that the companies will face in the future. Now, we all had unprecedented situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, impact globally for each and every individual. Are we all really ready, and are we all really prepared for any such unprecedented incidences or global economical turnover and changes as human resource leaders, for our companies is something that we need to really touch base and discuss about, and how do we go around it. So building an agile HR enterprise by embracing a perpetual work reinvention wheel, which is where reinvent industries, reinvent human capital management strategies comes and forms a bigger strategic forum for all the HR leaders in today's time. So, according to industry experts, some of 94% of business leaders believe that constant reskilling will soon replace periodic training, but just about 18% of leaders feel prepared to make that transition, as more than half of employees will need both reskilling and upskilling by 2022. So every one of us, we are aware that in all our business scenarios, either we are duplicating or wearing multiple hats and positions and roles to demonstrate and execute whatever are the business requirements and expectations for sustainability of organizations to move forward, to look forward to everything that is required to be reinvented. Maybe 2020 onset of the fiscal year and the budgeting year for each and every organization, we all were looking forward for our 10-year vision plan in the businesses, or 5-year goal plan in the businesses, or even short-term goals for our businesses everywhere across the industries. But what really happened to all of us was the risk factor that such global heavy impact on financial conditions, people, management, people strategies, where labor laws weren't really helpful when we looked at, what do we do in scenarios where we have to opt and quickly reinvent to situations like lockdown, coming up with work from home strategies, remotely working hours, compliances, policies, everything had to be reinvented over 10 or within over a clock of almost 24 hours for human capital leaders. Businesses, CEOs were looking forward from human capital leaders. What is the solution? How do we deal with these kind of scenarios? That really intrigued one factor and one question for us, which was, were we really prepared for this situation? And if we weren't, are we really prepared now for the future and the situation that we will be required to reinvent and face? So that's something that as human capital leaders, as CPOs, across the belt, across the globe, we all need to come together, having such forums, having human capital chapters, uniting each and every leader, be it CEO who's taking care of people management, everybody who's in the business leadership level, is to be looked forward by all the employees who are working in our industries today. So upskilling, reinventing, and reskilling ourselves is really, really important to be focused upon. Now, looking at another factor where human resources leaders can really make use of data to predict talent requirements and improve the employee experience. The one very little thing that we all could manage to learn out of this entire phase in each and everybody's professional careers was that how do we stop and pause for a moment, look through every single strategy, every single policy, every single operational SOPs that we were working on, and we were running that corporate rat race every day without looking back and questioning why are we doing what we are doing, and how can we improvise and add in effective ways and channelize how do we proceed ahead. So really looking at prediction models based on data, requirements of talent, requirement of employee experience is something which is very critical in today's time. Looking forward towards, yes, less than 20% of organizations currently have the ability to apply the predictive analysis modeling in addressing people issues. And that is one area that we all should look into as HR professionals, that can we mitigate this percentage to be higher, to be at least reaching up to 50% in our industries, is something that we need to look at. So I am of the opinion, and I really want to open this discussion, to everybody, to all the viewers, to all the panelists, of how exactly are we trying to unleash and go about the edge and reinvent our strategies, our human capital strategies, our people development strategies. So I would just like to, before I move on and introduce and bring on our next speaker, I would like to say one more thing, which is reinvent yourself every day and never stop being incredible. Never stop being incredible. Change is very good and it is liberating. So try that and keep coming up with strategies, innovations, and move on and unleash the edge and the power that you can. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's pretty hardcore, huh? I'm gasping for the air actually, already.
Yes.
That's a pretty hardcore one, huh? Thanks. Amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Who's the one who's going to unleash next one?
I would like to welcome anyone. I mean, Nitin, if you can take over to our next chapter and subject.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rajshri. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you, Hassan, for organizing all this. And thank you, Sandeep, for all the support and setup. So, moving to the next topic, that is disruptive innovation and big data in HR. So, why are we calling disruptive innovation? First of all, let's talk about the big data. So nowadays, when you look at the different articles that are there about, and big data is a term that is used a lot with HR. And when I was researching on the topic and based on the discussions in different forums, what I saw there are two schools of thoughts. One says that HR never has a big data. HR doesn't have that much data that it can qualify as a big data. So, in a little sense, what is big data? Big data is a huge amount of data. Like usually, an Excel file would have some millions of data points, but this is much more than that. That's what we call big data, where you need very sophisticated tools to do analysis of the available data. That is big data. Now, the important point out of all this is that data analytics is the key. What Rashri also discussed, data analysis will be the key for any future decision making. And the companies who were on already on this innovation trend, where they had already adopted the innovations that were available, like going for Zoom or going for the MS Teams. They were able to move on with their business very quickly in this entire episode of pandemic, where we had to put people we have to tell people to stay at home, not to come to office. So those companies had the infrastructure because they were thinking one step ahead. Now, if so, what are how do we know? How do we anticipate all this in future? Like touching back on the same point that was already discussed. So coming back to big data can help you do predictive analysis. It can help you on taking decisions for your performance management. It can help you this taking decision of resource requirement. There's another example where we can predict based on the data analysis and trends when usually our staff are leaving the organization. And based on that trend, usually the current mindset is that we would do succession planning. However, based on the big data or predictive analysis, we can, instead of planning doing succession planning, we can use this data, as an HR function can use this data to suggest to business to come up with the projects where, if the tenure of the project is ending in 2 years, then there is no need for a succession planning. So that means people we know for these kind of role or these kind of job or this kind of skill set stays in the job for 2 years. Then we can have our project plan based on that. And again, all this can be done through predictive analysis or data analysis. Uh, and it can help you in improving your overall performance and adding value to the business. Whereas what we've seen, that a lot of companies or a lot of HR partners would say they have innovation in their companies, or they are digital. However, I read a term called digital lipstick. It's just a digital lipstick that they have instead of the actual digital model. So, what is a digital model? Like that means you would have the right tool, you would have the right training for the people, you would have the right processes, and the culture that you're holding that supports that. And sometimes HR feels they're not supposed to be part of this digital or the operational culture. However, now is the time when the entire organization has to make an ecosystem that supports the digital trend, because that's the path to go. So, moving next point, according to the experts, the percentage of work and training done using automation has more than doubled to 17% over past few months during the pandemic, and is expected to reach up to 30% by the end of 2021. Talent leaders must understand the implication of this and should be able to implement these technologies in recruitment and in process of employee engagement. So the next leg to your data analytics or big data is, first of all, the data that has been collected. There is a term called dirty data. Dirty data means there is a lot of data but we cannot use it. So first of all, there should be right tools and processes to capture the data right. And again, here HR leaders need to work very closely with the IT leaders and with the business leaders, where the source of data is the business. So the data that is collected should be of use. Then integrated with the artificial intelligence, where along with the other predictive analysis, it automatically assign uh, the talent development opportunities also. That means sometimes we've seen that our primitive models are that all employees will go through 1 month of training. However, if one or two employees in that group doesn't need to go through 1 or 2 months of training, they can do away with their on-job support guide or artificial intelligence model, where one employee is much better than the other employee, or he or she has more experience in that field, or maybe he was an ex-employee in the same department. So we need not put them in 1 month of training. However, the current model that some of the companies follow, that everyone needs to go through 1 month of training. So all this can be tackled through artificial intelligence. And a lot of companies are adopting to it. Now, important part is that we as HR functions, we need to understand this. We need to not only understand it, we need to be able to talk about these. We need to build our processes around
Nitin,
this.
Nitin, there's one Raghavendra G.
Yes.
Sorry to interject. Head HR and talent acquisition for DBMSC Steel Group. He is said very valid comment, which you're saying. Very well said. Culture is the main door for any change, and this resonates. Yesterday we were having a live wire on analytics. The topic was business and analytics, and the very significant topic was in this insignificant times, that is analytics effective for the business. And that was a warm-up session, because we're coming to come up a series of sessions, and this is in conjunction with the Boston International Institute of Certification and Assessment launching the certification program, series of certification program. One of that certification program was Certified HR Strategy and Planning Analytics, CHPA. So we were discussing about exactly those points which you're mentioning, and then Raghavendra resonates the same thing, that very well said. Culture. We were discussing about the culture of the organization, that we need to have a conducive culture to, propagate, to imbibe the analytics, to really harness the power of analytics. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely, completely agree. And again, coming back to the same point that we should have ecosystem and agreement at the leadership level that all decisions going forward will be made through data instead of perceptions. Because right now we come across a lot of organization, or a lot of friends tell me that they assume there are a lot of assumptions about nationalities. There are a lot of assumptions about uh, previous cultures, the particular gender, particular religion. So instead of that, we need to, as an organization, change the mindset and move towards more predictive or more database decision making. That's where analytics can really help. And coming to culture, yes, when we see there are times when so many employees have been laid off, and companies had to take those decisions because they had to look at their economic stability to sustain in the market, to keep going. They had to let go a lot of employees. However, that's where the HR role comes in, where it should not impact the culture. Because what we've seen that somewhere where some of the employees or some of the managers face that corporate bullying by individual who are retained in the company. So there, and we've seen bullying can be both ways. Sometimes we've seen employees bullying manager, or manager bullying employees, uh, based on the condition or situation they are in. So that culture, where HR has to play a larger role, making sure the culture is supportive, conducive. And I think one of the biggest thing that can help is our decision making through data. So, any thoughts about this are more than welcome from the panel. You're on mute, Sandeep.
Hassan,
Yes, boss.
Muhammad Al Balushi, Emirates Islamic Bank Assistant Manager Recovery, he sends you a big thumbs up. Great job.
Oh, thank you. It's for everyone. Well
Yep.
done.
Who's going to take the next one?
That would be me.
Julie.
Hey, thank you,
Great.
Nitin, for that.
Fatigue.
That takes us very nicely, Nitin, to the next topic. And this is around how do we manage through fatigue? How do we overcome fatigue? And how do we build resilience within our teams? So what we're facing right now in the midst of this pandemic, this is a topic that is really close to how I manage the people function on a daily basis, especially in these times. So in order to be effective, I work with my HR team and with the leadership team to prioritize our employees' health and well-being. We're having to find new, innovative, creative ways to overcome fatigue and build resilience within our teams and our organizations. These are really massive. There are really massive, large-scale transformations that is happening in our organization, in your organization, across the world, in the corporate world. So this is what we like to say, it's a fast-paced economic transformation disguised as a pandemic. Underneath the pandemic, what's caused a lot of the transformations is actually the pandemic. So many of us, as a result of these fast-paced economic transformations, we're working harder than we've ever worked. Our HR teams, facilities, IT teams, legal, safety teams, we're all in it together to help keep our companies afloat. And we're doing it at lightning speed. We can see that employee engagement and productivity is at an all-time high. However, there is a paradox here. We are digitally engaged. However, we are emotionally stressed out. We're stressed out by health risks, by uncertainties, by young children going back to school. So we need to find ways to manage our fatigue and rest. And only if we are able to do that can we actually win in the workplace. So there are a couple of large pieces that we can touch on when we talk about how do we manage and overcome fatigue. There are three big things. One of it is clarify crystal clear what the goals are for success and minimize the distraction and the noise for our employees. Our employees have a burnout because they're doing too much. And if we're able to prioritize, if leadership is able to prioritize and clarify crystal clear goals for success, it's going to help minimize the distraction and the noise for employees. That's number one. Number two, we are in back-to-back meetings. The length and the frequency of Zoom meetings, the Skype meetings, it just goes on. We've got to find a way to reduce the length and the frequency of these meetings and build in rest periods and rest days during these hectic cycles. Number three, leadership. Leadership has to lead by example. If they're expecting employees to take a break and manage their fatigue, they have to model the behavior. They've got to take a break themselves. They've got to encourage people to recover from the fatigue that is building up. So managing the fatigue is one part of it. Another part of it is building resilience. How do we build resilience? We build resilience on two fronts. One of it is as an organization, and the other one is as an individual. So as an individual, there are 5 ways to, and this is actually from the Josh Bersin School of Thought. The individual resilience is built up in 5 different ways. Have a positive mind, positive attitude, emotion, and a growth mindset. Very often there is negativity and fear surrounding us. So the positive attitude for an individual, for our employees are important. Work, give them productive work, have them psychologically safe at work, build their success, give them tools to be able to build their success and support them. Number 3 is relationships, both at work, at home, the family and the community. Strengthen those relationships. Number 4 is really big. It's about purpose. Employees at these times look more than ever to what is the purpose of the organization? What are the values in the organization? What am I doing that gives meaning to the community and to the population around me? What's my mission? That's number 4. Number 5 is progress, an ability to perform, to achieve, and it goes back to the growth mindset. So these are the 5 pieces around how to build resilience individually. As an organization, 5 ways to build resilience as an organization is, we see this very often in the military. Our operating model is no more centralized and hierarchical. It's actually distributed and it's more team-centric. So change the operating model and provide decision-making that is not as centric, but is individualized, and employees and teams have accountability. Capability, train on a regular basis. So it's not just annual training sessions, but deep levels of training as and when required. Relationships, build socio-technical systems and personal relationships as an organization. Share data and real-time situational awareness as an organization. Nitin spoke about that a little bit earlier on. As an organization, our leadership needs to create trust and believe in innovation and creativity. So what we covered today was how to manage fatigue and how to be a resilient organization, both at the individual level and the organizational level. I'd love to hear your comments for discussion before we hand it across to Mander. All right, Mander, over to you for stepping forward and giving back.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
You know, today we have got 2 wonderful ladies and very strong HR ladies here, and they are extremely high on EQ. You know, I can vouch for Rajshri, who is the head of HR, and she is exceptional C-suite HR leader, and she's chartered fellow. And I know Julie Christie for almost over a decade now, and our professional relationship goes back to in the days of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, where we did advanced human resource management, strategic human resource management. That's to be precise. And I know she is also very high on EQ. She's one of the very compassionate HR leader. I have seen it. And that's what I think. So you have taken a very pertinent topic, Julie, that managing through fatigue And in this current new normal, this is big time should be on the agenda of HR, you know, and not only in the HR but also in the leadership, because it is not only that the individual employees but the entire organization is undergoing the fatigue. And if corrective actions are not taken in during these times, then the future can be a lot, it can have a lot detrimental effect on it. Who'd like to pour in more views on this, or we move on to Mandar?
I just want to add on, as I think managing fatigue is very good, because it is like soccer. Once you when you are on the field and you play for 45 minutes, you get into fatigue. You're losing your energy and your skills. So how you manage, for example, it is a Champions League and you want to win this game. So how will you manage as a captain? How you manage that fatigue of your players, and how to score the last goal is very important.
I was
So
expecting this, Hassan, from you. Football correlation.
yeah.
I was thinking where the genius of football has gone. Why it is not coming up? There you
Yeah,
go. Now you come out.
yeah, yeah. So this is what I wanted to add on, and very good, Julie. You have touched upon very good topic, and how we can, come out of this stage. Well
I
done.
love the sports analogy. I love the sports analogy. It speaks to burnout, right? I mean, scoring
Yes.
goals, if you don't take rest in periodic times, you burn out and your team just doesn't win. It's exactly the same in the corporate world. I love it.
See, the problem is that earlier we used to say that we don't take our work home, and now with 90% of the people working from home online, I mean you're with your work all the time. So fatigue is something which you need to be very careful about. Thanks, Julie, for sharing your wonderful views on fatigue management. In fact, I would like to congratulate all the speakers, right from Rajashri, who spoke about unleashing, reinvent. Am I audible, by the way?
Yes.
Mandy, you are
Okay.
audible.
So Rash can go on mute. Okay. So thanks Rajeshri for sharing this unleashing reinvention. Then Nitin spoke about disruptive innovation, and then finally Julie spoke about the fatigue management, which is very prevalent in this part of the world, and the way we are facing COVID. So my job is actually easy. So it's going to be stepping forward. So where do we go from here? So the three takeaways which has come very prominently is upscaling yourself, then value addition, and continual improvement, and which essentially means that gone are the days that you are in your comfort zone, so you need to move out of your comfort zone. So we're talking about how do we do that, and what's in it for you to be very closely associated with Global Society of Human Capital Management. So what we are going to do, guys, is we are trying to build a platform and network, fostering communities and integrated intercultural dialogue and participation of all the stakeholders. Hassan mentioned about the HR Majlis, which is going to happen every month from now on, where we'll be sharing a lot of the leaders will be coming and sharing their experiences, and doing different things in a different way, which can be proactive and predictive. See, I mean, we are moving away from being predictive or reactive. So now you need to be proactive. So you need to, even you talking about upscaling, you should know what skills would be required, and you need to, like Nitin also mentioned, we need to be continuously, trying to hone our skills on a continual basis. It's like a part of continual improvement. And as somebody said that the line of excellence doesn't have a finish line. Yeah, so we continually go on that basis. Then, as you know, all over the world, our community is affected by COVID-19, and many of the families have lost their means of subsistence due to layoff. You may call it right sizing, retrenching, whatever. So what can we do collectively on this? So first and foremost, we would be going in for some kind of forums where we, as I mentioned about HR Majlis, then we also would be helping individuals giving tips on the CVs. We are going to make some subgroups within within the Dubai chapter, and we'll be shortly announcing. Brother Hassan will be announcing who's going to be the subgroup heads, and we'll be assisting you in writing good CVs. I mean, CVs is the first thing which goes to any company, and as I say, you don't get a second chance to make the first impression. So that is what is required. Then, of course, networking. When you have HR Majlis, definitely people from different walk of life come here, share their ideas. I mean, today we are in a stage that we don't have face-to-face meetings, but at some point of time, inshallah, maybe a couple of months from now, we should be able to do face-to-face meetings. So we would be also encouraging the HR Majlis, and plus these connections. Also, what we are trying to do is we'll also be having a award website. As you know, I was just going to talk about the award as well. So we had this award in which it's been, I think, many years now. This is, I think, which cycle, Sandeep, if I am mistaken?
Yep.
This is which is the cycle is going on for this award, our award?
This is going to be the 13th year.
13th year, so fantastic. This is the 13th year, and so I have been a part of this award for last couple of years, and we are going to have elite personal award in this, the elite 100, and plus we will have the normal the corporate awards, in which I think this is
Corporate
one of
HR
the
Excellence
most
Award.
corporate HR Excellence Award. What we are looking in this is that we would be, I mean, having a live wire, specifically for the awards and the panelists. But I would just like to, since we are already on that, I would just like to share what we are going to look at. The criterias are very precise and very defined. So we are looking at what kind of approach you are having towards result. So if it's an approach, is it sound? Is it integrated within the company? If it's a corporate, if it's within your own objectives, if it's a personal one, then we talk about how you have done the deployment, and finally the assessment and refinement. So is there a measurement? Is there a learning? Is there an improvement? So it's a very clear. We have I think a panel of 13 or 14 judges, and so all this is going to be like a motivator for all those people, who have lost their jobs, who are trying to add something more on their CV. So of course, trophies, it's always good to have trophies at the back of your screen. So this is what we are doing, and I think maybe Hassan or Sandeep will be able to share more the next date for the Majlis. I think it's going to be mid of October, and this award we typically will start in mid of September, and then I think by October we are having a special award website, which is currently will be going live on 15th of September, and then by mid of October we should be finishing the award, and I think by end of October you will have all the winners displayed on the screen of the website. So this is it. I mean, and plus anything else, I think I would keep it open for anyone from the LinkedIn who would like to say which is the other way we can be of help. Because ultimately we are all in this together. So we have to come out of this together. So it's not like it's going to be my thing or your thing. We are all we could say collective ambassadors of the global society of human capital management. So it's not a Dubai chapter or the core team members who are going to be responsible. I think everybody has a stake in it, and as they say that if you want to do excellence, then it's like doing outstanding sustainable performance which oversees the expectation of all stakeholders. So we are here for you guys, and please feel free to give any thoughts and ideas which you feel that which will be beneficial for you in terms of us taking a step ahead, and we are all here for you. So, and this chapter is here, and I think all the core members are very committed members, and we look forward to joining hands with you and taking this further.
Thanks,
That's it
Mandar.
from me.
We have got one more very interesting comment. That's from Amal. Amal Abdul Halim, PHR, MBA UK. She says fatigue is impacting employees. How can we help retain our existing talents to motivate them to continue in the organization? Bear in mind that we have now challenges in replacing talent from abroad. That's a big one. Now everybody was there, and COVID-19. We have, we say that let's trim our people down. We trim the people down, and then now we need people. Now we need to energize our business. Now people are skeptical. There is a fear. There is a whole lot of thing going on in the head. What kind of organization is there? Will I get the stability? And a lot of this fatigue is going on, I think so. Hassan, this topic is emerging as one of the very interesting topic, which is engulfing employees, CEOs, organization, business heads. I think so that could be a very good topic for upcoming Majlis, or could be a subtopic in the Majlis. What do you say?
I think it can be one of the main topics in HR Majlis, as fatigue, managing fatigue during these times, during these challenging times. What is, how do you manage and taking and go still forward? Still, you go ahead. You don't stop. You go ahead. You go. Don't let the business to stop. Don't let the industry to stop. But how you can have these all challenges and still you take the opportunity to step forward. So it's one of the main topic.
Rajeshri,
Yes,
I agree with you.
you want to say pitch in, Rajeshri or Julie?
Julie.
Just a quick one. This is aligned to the UAE government's support, and they are actually putting a lot of investment in health and well-being of its citizens and its population here in the UAE. So more and more over the last couple of years, we can see the UAE is actually putting in a lot of investment. Medical insurance schemes is an example. They are now looking at the holistic health of employees, not just reactive to health, but proactively looking after employees' health. I know when I was in Canada, the health insurance there is a little bit different in that it isn't quite where we want it to be, but mental health is an example, and proactive physical health is a top priority for a lot of employers there. Coming back to the UAE, I can see a lot of employers, not as fast as we'd like it to be, but the government, along with top multinational companies, are actually putting employees' health and well-being at the center. And this so-called work-life balance is a little bit skewed because everyone's actually converted their office to their homes. But I think the focus on health and well-being is slowly increasing. What do you think, Rajeshri?
I completely agree with you, Julie, Hassan, and every panel member here. In line with what you've just brought in picture with regards to Dubai healthcare authorities, focusing more and more towards well-being of employees. This year, they have introduced in medical insurance scheme as mandatory purchase of BASMA services. And I would like to educate many of the HR leaders across UAE that this is one of the benefits which has been introduced by Dubai Healthcare for all the companies, to ensure that each and every staff is covered by BASMA facility, which is to treat cancer, illness and diseases, and anything related to cancer treatment is going to be taken care by the Dubai healthcare government. So well brought up point, Julie, and well recognized by the panel members and the chairperson Hassan here. In terms of managing fatigue. And it's very important to educate all the HR leaders of what exactly and how do we do the risk assessment, bring on trainers to train organization leaders about exactly what the government facilities are also willing to provide, and go out and do more in terms of well-being management for everyone here. So yeah.
I have a little daughter, and this says, aha. So that's now this aha moment is, I think so, Hassan, now we need to freeze this aha moment, the managing fatigue. What do you say, guys? Managing fatigue? Is that the topic which emerging up, or
Yes.
managing work-life balance, or the larger picture?
I think it's managing
Work-life
fatigue
balance.
Work-life
and
balance.
building
Work-life
resilience.
balance.
Yeah, let's hear one at a time. Yeah, Julie.
Building resilience
Okay.
along with overcoming fatigue.
Rajesh, Mandar, you were saying something?
I was saying work-life balance through fatigue management.
Okay. Rajeshri?
I would say employee well-being, or care. Just simply care for your people, and let's keep it as simple, and connect every professional, even at the blue collar level, to understand what HR leaders are trying to give importance to. So care is something that I vouch for, which is in lines with well-being, management of fatigue, etc. So that's one aspect to touch from human resource point, and it's very human, and I do believe that we all should care, and that's what I would vouch for.
There is one comment coming up from Muhammad Abu Isa. Muhammad Abu Isa is the core group member of Abu Dhabi chapter, and they had also the similar discussion on these lines. It's not only, I'm seeing the pulse. We have been doing the core group discussion in Spain, in Thailand, India, Pakistan, we'll be doing in Saudi Arabia. We did one in, in Jordan. The whole theme is emerging is the mental fatigue part of the employees, of the organization. So I think so, for our Dubai chapter boss, Mr. Hassan Amin, food for thought: fatigue, well-being, hashtag mental fatigue, or um,
What I will say is I'm happy with all the topics, but fatigue is the one which is for 2020, I will say. Now, at the moment, 2020, with all the COVID-19 pandemic coming up, and people have, maybe some of them have also lost their jobs,
Yeah.
and some have gone back. Some are still searching something or the other. So how through these times you can, come up with some opportunities for them to help them to come out from their shell, or come out not only just looking at the current situation, but looking at the future, how you can build up. So that fatigue is an important word for this time.
Yeah, there is pressure from all the sides. How do you come out of the pressure?
Yeah.
And
Fatigue management. I think that should be a next topic for our Majlis. The first
So,
topic,
so,
rather.
so Hassan,
And
now, since core group members are there, which date have you identified so that everybody knows in the LinkedIn that what is the tentative date you are thinking of Majlis
I think
for Dubai chapter?
we said that by October we should come up with one of the date for HR
October,
Majlis.
October first week, right?
First week was
October
decided.
first week. We
And you
see
want to
we have two Majlises coming up. One is in October and one is early December.
Yeah. And I think so. There was a discussion about some of the core group members going to take a lead or inviting the notable speakers, where Rajashri and Nitin, Julie and Mandar and yourself, you volunteer to, invite some prominent speakers. So now we can see that we can identify some good speakers on these topics, and they can throw some light that how to overcome the fatigue, and which you rightly said, Hassan, that they're creating a platform for those people to supporting and giving a helping hand.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. The one was the HR Majlis. The second was having a speaker. Maybe you can have 3 speakers on 3 different dates in a week.
Yeah.
and you break the week into alternative days.
Yep.
So you have, for example, you have Saturday, then you have Monday, and then you have Wednesday.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So we have done Majlis. We have shared our thoughts of the HR leaders here in Dubai. Would you all like to conclude just 30 seconds each, one of you, so that we can close the session because we already crossed 1 hour? Or you would like to summarize, Hassan? Or any of you would like to summarize?
I think I will give this floor first of all to the ladies, to the HR experts, Rajeshri and Julie, to have the closing session.
Ladies
And,
always take the lead.
yes.
You've got a lady chairperson, Nufal Sofiani, and now we got ladies leading. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Rajeshri, go ahead.
And also, I would like others to give a small word of closing by Nitin and Mandar as well.
Yeah.
Going to Rajeshri.
Sure. Thank you, Hassan. First of all, thank you to each and every panel member who has joined hands to give more and do more for the HR fraternity and globally every professional at any given level and country right now. Thank you, Julie, for bringing up innovative subject and enlightening a topic which is very, very critical and requires a lot of focus by industry leaders. Thank you, Nitin, by bringing along subjects in terms of big data in HR and the disruptive trends to move forward is something that we all are going to look forward and start implementing. Thank you, Mandar, for seriously introducing our objectives, couple of initiatives which are related to HR magazines, which are related to HR awards, which are related to, more to do in terms of rewarding and recognizing the industry leaders and the implementers and the executors. It's very critical when we speak of recognition, globally on a forum where we really don't know how many people across the globe are looking up to us, how many people across the globe are wanting to share their views, their knowledge, and their presence to be felt, and that connection is something which is very important in today's time and world. And thankfully, technology has given us the leverage, to tap onto these little aspects by being in one country and just going global. Yeah. So the science of what makes people care is something that we have touched upon very brilliantly. Thank you all the viewers, in terms of participation and hearing us out, as you will continue to hear us out a lot more. And you never know what kind of opportunity will be ready and open for you, which doors will open for you, what answers you're seeking will be available for you readily in such platforms. And such industry experts are just there to help and nurture every single experience that we are here to look forward with. I won't take much of the time because I'm aware that we've already gone off shoot, and Julie is our lovely HR leader and presenter who would also take on the forum to thank and address each and everyone now. So thank you once again, everyone. Remember, the science is what makes people care, and we are all about doing what's required to do from our little scope of experience and network and everything else. So all the best, everyone, and let's work together.
Julie, 1 minute and then we close the show.
I couldn't have said it any better. Rajeshri's closed it off brilliantly. Thank you. Thank you for the rest of the team as well.
Thank you.
I think thanks.
Thank you all for being here. And then we will have the HR Majlis as announced by the chapter chairperson, Hassan Amin, Dubai chapter. And they're going to bring about a whole lot of other things. They're going to announce the awards, which Mandar is going to be one of the chief member panel there. And then Hassan Amin will be letting you know about Al Tawassul, the magazine, and then there will be Al Tawji program that's going to be rolled out, and then going to be two amazing HR majlises, which we'll all look forward to. Thank you again. We'll come back to you with more of interesting.
One line from me, Sandeep. One line from me. All the viewers, together we can, together we will. We are all in this together. All the best.
Thank you, Mandar.
Thank you, everyone.
With this, we would like to conclude today's talk. We have just overshot the time by 5 minutes. Apologies for that. And we'll come back to you again with a whole lot of new series of talks. Be mindful of our HR Majlis time. Do join us. We've got an interesting lineup of speakers and then we'll come back to you next time. Thank you all, and you have a very good evening. Assalamu alaikum.